It's the global economy, cooked, oil prices versus the Middle East war. Today, yeah, it's a little bit boring stuff, but let's talk about the current war in the Middle East and what are the impacts for oil markets globally. Stop the scroll. Real talk. You just paid how much for a tank of gas, and somehow your Uber Eats delivery is also more expensive? Your flight home for the holidays costs twice what it did last year? Here's the thing, nobody's explaining to you. There's a war happening right now that is literally the biggest oil crisis in human history. Not my words, that's the International Energy Agency. And if you don't understand what's going on in a 21-mile wide strip of water in the Middle East, you are going to be completely blindsided by what's coming for your bank account. So, stay. Right, here. What actually happened? Okay, quick history lesson. I promise it's actually wild. February 28th, 2026. The US and Israel launched a massive military operation against Iran, codenamed Operation Epic Fury. They targeted Iran's leadership, military command, and missile systems. Iran didn't just sit there, they fired back. Ballistic missiles hit US bases across the Gulf, Saudi Arabia, UAE, Qatar. And then Iran did the one thing that broke global energy markets. They basically shut down the Strait of Hormuz. Now, you're probably like, what even is that? Imagine a hallway, but this hallway carries 20 million barrels of oil every single day. That's roughly 20% of all the entire world uses. Every day, gone. It's like if someone blocked the only highway into your city, except the city is the planet. The numbers that should scare you. Let me hit you with the actual numbers, because this is where it gets insane. Before this war started, February 27th, a barrel of Brent crude oil cost $72. Within days of the strikes, it blew past $80, $100, $120 a barrel. That is a 67% increase in less than 4 weeks. The last time we saw prices like this? 2008, when it hit an all-time high of 147. But here's what's different this time, and why experts are saying this won't just blow over like the Russia-Ukraine oil shock did. In 2022, when Russia invaded Ukraine, countries could reroute oil supply. Ship it differently. Find alternatives. You can't reroute the Strait of Hormuz. There is no detour. The IEA literally called this the greatest global energy security challenge in history. Qatar, which supplies 20% of the world's liquefied natural gas, had its entire LNG facility taken offline by Iranian drone strikes. Natural gas prices up 60%. In weeks. Hate to use specifically okay, but like, how does a war in the Persian Gulf actually affect you, a normal person just trying to live their life? Let me break it down in the most real way I can. Flights and travel. You know how you've been planning that trip? Jet fuel is refined from oil. Airlines globally are spiking prices across the board. Qantas, Indigo, Air India, SAS, all announced fare hikes. Budget an extra 30-50% minimum on any flight right now. Everything you buy online. Think Amazon hauls, Shein drops, anything shipped. Oil powers every truck, ship, and plane in that supply chain. Higher fuel, higher shipping, higher prices on literally everything. Your food delivery apps. Uber Eats, DoorDash, Deliveroo, those delivery fees are going up. Every single one, because drivers pay for gas, and restaurants pay for ingredients that also got more expensive to produce and ship. Your electricity bill. This is the sneaky one. Natural gas powers a huge chunk of electrical grids in Europe and Asia. In Europe, gas benchmark prices nearly doubled to over 60 euros per megawatt hour. If you're in Europe right now, your parents are about to have a very stressed conversation about utility bills. And even in the US, where domestic oil production buffers some of this, inflation is already ticking back up to 3%, meaning your purchasing power, the money you actually have, buys less stuff. What smart people are doing right now. I'm not here to just doom scroll you. Let's talk about what you can actually do. Short term, protect yourself. In Europe or Asia, look into locking in energy contracts or prepaying bills if your provider allows it. Prices are expected to stay high for months. Planning travel, book sooner if you're going, or seriously consider domestic options. The ironic winner in all of this: oil and defense companies. Exxon, Chevron, their stocks went UP when the war started. Defense stocks like Lockheed Martin and Northrop Grumman also up. War is terrible, but it is predictably good for a small number of industries. Note, this is not financial advice. I'm a YouTube channel, not your financial advisor. The long-term signal. This war is accelerating exactly why clean energy matters. The Strait of Hormuz choke point problem doesn't exist for wind, solar, or nuclear. Countries watching this crisis are now fast-tracking renewable infrastructure. Depending on a 21-mile wide passage for 20% of the world's energy is a genuinely terrifying idea. Finally, so here's the bottom line. A war that most people couldn't find on a map is reshaping global energy markets in real time, and it's not just headlines. It's your gas pump, your flights, your Amazon cart, your electricity bill. The IEA called it the greatest energy security challenge in history. Analysts are projecting oil could hit $130 to $150 a barrel if this drags on. And there's no clear end date. The best thing you can do is understand what's happening, because informed people make better decisions than panicked ones. If this video explains something your algorithm never would have, smash that subscribe button. Drop a comment. Did you already feel this war in your wallet?